right, all you positive heads, welcome, welcome. Here we grow again. It is a wonderful Wednesday here in the studio as I record, and I am flying solo today. I had intended to have someone on to share, about challenges that they've been dealing with and so forth. I reached out, actually letting all of you guys know if that's something you'd be interested in doing. Coming on the show and vulnerably sharing, and because oftentimes what you're going through, others are going through. And it's just a way to really, not only get some one-on-one time with me in the hopes that I can help shift some things for you, but also to benefit those around you who or that listen that are experiencing the same thing. So anyway, didn't align schedule wise doing it today. So here I am flying solo on my own. And I just given a thought, I really didn't think a whole lot about what to talk about up front. The one thing that I like to try and be as organic as possible because it allows for like spontaneity and flow, and what's meant to come through. And what came immediately up when I thought it, I started thinking about doing today's episode alone is a wonderful quote that I heard last week, I believe it was, and it was by Miles Davis. And the quote is, "It's not the note you play that's the wrong note. It's the note you play afterwards that makes it right or wrong." And man, what a wonderful, all the years of doing this podcast. And that one, just hearing it last week for the first time, or at least remembering it for the first time. What an incredible realization, tying it into, music, of course. It's sort of like when you stumble, make it part of the dance, right? And we all stumble. We all play the wrong note. And, instead of assuming that is the wrong thing, the wrong path, it's like when we add on to it, like you think about if you play the wrong note, then you instantly are like insecure and upset and worried. And then, how do you handle it? And then you give it all that energy of being off and bad and not the right thing. And that really defines it as bad. But if you take someone like Miles Davis and you hit the wrong note and you all of a sudden riff off of that and you make it part of the dance, just like stumbling, now you have created something new. I mean, how many inventions have happened out of someone mistakenly doing something? And so I think that's really the heart of this whole concept is, there is no real mistake unless you decide it's a huge mistake, it's a huge failure, and then everyone feels it as such. It's so interesting how energy works. It's like when you realize how much everyone is reading your energy and reflecting it back to you, it really does. It makes it sometimes I'll have these moments where it really hits me like, oh my gosh, this person they're doing nothing more but reading me and reflecting me back. If I feel like should be insecure about something, or I did something wrong or whatever, they don't even realize that they're then taking on my energy and then acting as if, yeah, he messed up. He did it wrong. He did, and so it's really fascinating when you start to understand, like, it's back to this idea that we have shared a lot on the show is there is no out there. It's like, these people everything is reflecting you. And so if instead of, you hit the note you didn't intend on hitting, you celebrate it and you do your best with it and you see what, where it might lead you. You turn down the wrong path, right? Oh, I was trying to go from A to B or A to C and I hit B, right? Okay. Well, maybe there's something there that you would not have found had you not taken the quote unquote wrong path. And so, yeah, I just absolutely love this concept and this idea of making it all part of the dance, making it, as if it were meant, because the reality is it is always meant. It has always, everything that happens to you is happening for you and happening through you. And it is always somehow a part that's meant to appear. And you can't have, of course, the you can't go off-roading without some dirt, right? Is another way to think about it. And it's like you're gonna hit that wrong note. You might get dirty. You might think, man, I was trying to keep my new outfit fresh and clean, and this really, now I'm a filthy mess. And that's what, if one of the things we can see that we've done that isn't necessarily great is trying to, like, too much sanitation, for example, too much hand sanitizer. It's going to prevent you from actually creating natural defenses. So, it's healthy for children to play in the dirt, in the mud, and because they get all the things that they get exposed to all the things that they need in order to make their immune system strong. Right. So if you think, oh man, I hit this wrong note, it sounded weird, it sounded bad. And instead of like showing that and that being written all over your face, you can own it and be like, oh, that wasn't what was intended, and I'm just going to go with it, and I'm going to deal with it. Okay, let's call it. Let's say it was something that what can be viewed, like not. It wasn't maybe a good outcome. It hurt someone, for example. How are you going to deal with it next? It's what note are you going to play afterwards that makes it the right or wrong note? Are you going to be in denial and say and blame it on someone else? Now it's really a wrong note, right? If you take accountability and ownership of the thing that happened and say, yeah, that was my fault. I can own that. I could have done better, and I can see that now. And I'm sorry. I apologize for. And when someone is willing to take accountability for being, misstepping and actually owning what it is that they did or didn't do or should have, or intended to do, it really, you really build a bridge when you do that. When you're able to do that, you now give people permission to accept and forgive and to move through and move beyond. Whereas a lot of times it's like, oh, I played a wrong note. I did something that hurt people, and now I'm going to double down and blame it on you and blame it on someone else and not take responsibility or lie about it or what have you. You literally just make it really a bad note versus like, oh my gosh, I was tired. I was not thinking clearly. I was angry in that moment. I could see now that, I wasn't thinking about how it would impact others. And I have regret around that. And I wish I'd done better. And I will commit to doing better next time. Think of how that's received by people. They look at you, you instantly gained respect. Like, oh man, that's not what it takes a big person to do something like that and to admit when they're wrong. And so, I think that's, to me, one of the biggest signs of someone's development is, are they willing to really acknowledge when they've misstepped and actually own it and then do their best to repair it. And, I think that's another way we can look at this and how to play the second note and actually redeem the first note. Actually make it into something beautiful. And that's really all any of us are trying to do here, right? It's like, is leave some beauty, create ripples of impact, way more than the ROI, return on investments. And no one on their deathbed is like, man, I wish I had another dollar in the bank. It's like the ROI, ripple of impact. How did I impact? How did I affect others? Like Jim Carrey says, it's the greatest currency there is. And so we all have the ability. You don't need to be a billionaire to have an incredible ripple of impact. And that means stepping up when you play the wrong note and owning it, and then doing your best with it from there and showing your vulnerability, showing your heart, showing how much you really care about others and the impact that you have. And that you're willing to self-analyze, even laugh at yourself at times, whatever it takes to make it right and to make the most of it. Right. And it's not about preserving our ego or being right. No one's going to get to the other side and say, oh, I can't wait to tally how many times I was right and they were wrong. It's like, I watch a lot of these near-death experience stories. They're fascinating how often they have these like life reviews, right? It's like a common experience, and it's always them being shown like all the ways they impacted others. It's like that's like a staple with these near death experiences, and they get to see where they were hurt others and actually feel what it felt like to hurt others, and then they get to see and feel what it felt like to actually benefit and help others, and to where they actually had a positive ripple of impact. And and then there's redemption for the times they were, you know, they hurt others. And so that's what we want. We want to get there, and you want to be proud of yourself, on the other side. And when the day is done, when the job is done, when the work here is done, Earth School has ended session, to see how many people did I impact. And so often that's going to come by how you navigate playing the wrong note. So, yeah, we're going to keep it short and sweet today. We'll end this on this good note. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in and sharing with me and connecting with me in this moment of space time as we float in eternity. Till next time, journey well.